Is Senator Tester from Montana is recognized.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank both the folks that are here in front of us today for testifying. I want to touch back on cyber a little bit. Commissioner, is there anything that Washington, D.C., Congress or the executive branch needs to do to deal with cyber from your industry perspective, or are we okay where we're at?
So, Senator, are you speaking in terms of the protection gap?
I'm speaking in terms of the threat, and I'll get into the increase in premiums due to cyber. Or is there anything we need to be doing to put forth some relief? I'm not talking about writing checks out to people. I'm talking about making policies that will make cyber more manageable, cyber threats.
Sure. So I think from the perspective of our industry is we're looking at assuring that there are adequate controls in the insurance industry so that they can withstand potential cyber threats. What the NAIC has been engaged in is, of course, we've developed a model law, which states continue to adopt. Now 80% of the market has adopted or subject to those laws, which improve and increase the security of data and the rapidness of notice to insurance commissioners about when there has been a data incident. We continue to strengthen and update our guidance for financial examiners.
But
Yeah.
so what I'm hearing you say is that between NIC and the state governments, that the issue is being handled adequately.
We believe that we have an adequate framework in place to assure that insurance
Okay.
companies' insurance data is protected.
Okay, you'll have to correct me if I didn't catch this right, but when Senator Reed was asked the questions, you said there was a 75% increase in premiums due to cyber?
Right. So on the one hand, we talk about what insurance companies are doing to make their data safe.
Yep.
When we talk about then insurance companies as risk financiers, so when they sell policies,
Yep.
policies have certainly become more expensive for the businesses that buy those policies.
And that is taking what kind of time frame, the 75% increase?
That's over about the course of a year,
1 year.
1 year.
Do you, the ranking member talked about you guys dealing with risk, long-term, short-term. Have you guys done that with issues around climate? Let me give you an example. Where I live in Montana, it's a big state, but where I live in Montana, it's dry as hell. A few months ago, you probably heard about the flood that came out of Yellowstone Park that was a 500-year event. It seems like we're having a 500-year event and 100-year events every decade. So do you guys take that into account?
So we certainly track very closely the frequency and the severity of perils and
Yes.
claims. So for example, in the world,
Yeah, go ahead, keep going real
I was going
quick.
to say, in the world of climate
Yeah.
specifically, we know that weather patterns are changing and that those weather patterns are causing increased
Yeah.
claims activity, et cetera.
No doubt about that. Can you give me any kind of an idea, just from a property damage standpoint, what the increase in premiums have been because of that?
I have to tell you, I don't have the numbers at my fingertips, and I'm happy to follow up to give you those numbers, but the increases are exponential. So we are seeing much, much larger numbers of claims. You know, weather events are more frequent, they're more severe, and
I would love to get those numbers.
Absolutely.
Because there are a number of folks in the body, in Congress, that think ignoring climate is something that will make it go away, when in fact, my experience on a farm in north central Montana is it ain't going away. It's, in fact, getting far worse. I mean, last year was the worst crop we ever cut. This year was the second worst crop we ever cut. And I know I look very young, but we've been on the farm for 45 years. So this is pretty insane. I want to talk really, really quickly about NARAB. This is the damnedest thing I've ever seen because we passed a bill years ago, and quite frankly, we still don't have a board. Didn't have it through Obama, didn't have it through Trump. Number one, could you just give me the benefits of that NARAB board?
So I feel like that's an issue that we would probably do better briefing you on afterwards in terms of the board. But, the NAIC's position has been that the board should be created and established.
Can you give me any update on, Director Seitz, give me any update on the status of that NARAB board being
No,
fully functional?
no, thank you for that question. We share recognizing the importance of NARAB, and it's an issue that we've been meeting with a variety of stakeholders on, particularly on the broker community, to sort of think through that process again. And it's an issue that we've been focused on for the last few years in our office of trying to move that forward.
Well, and I'm way out of time, but I would just say, please be aggressive. Bounce some people around, do whatever you got to do, get this damn thing done. It would be, I think, a win for the consumer, a win for the industry, and a win for the administration. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.